Hey guys, Sean Zine, the host for the Network Marketing Insider, where I bring on affiliate marketers, network marketers, multi-level marketers, and people in general that have a story to tell that you can learn from, that you can gain some value. The important thing is if you're listening to us on any of the audio spaces, please give us a review at the end. Definitely go to the description and reach out to my guest because I know the value that you're going to be able to gain from them. And also, if you're watching on YouTube or off my website, the video, please drop a comment where you're watching from, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this video. Make sure people, can continue getting the value on a consistent basis. If you learn something from us, come back and drop a comment and let us know what has changed your life. Without further ado, let me bring on Liam, who I just met recently. What's up, Liam?
Not much. How are you today, Sean?
I'm doing excellent. I feel great that I'm able to, continue helping people. And that's another thing we were talking before we were going live about what I liked about you. Like, you are one that wants to help, and we're going to get into that. But I wanted to share that because it gets me fired up when I'm with somebody and we're like-minded. I think we could take on the world. And I want to, before I even get into it, I want you to share, who are you, Liam, and how did we meet? Let's go into that.
All right. So my name is Liam Gallagher, and I joined the platform Skool with a K, Skool, on September 10th. And within, I think the first day I had one thing that I posted, one contribution. I was really just getting an idea what it was. By the second or third day, I had found Evolve Now Social and had joined that community. And I'm the type that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't wait to get my feet wet. I don't wait to see how things work. I understand life. I understand who I am. I know where I want to be in life. And if I find something of value, I'm going to jump into it. If I think it's of value, once I jump in, that's how I evaluate whether it is or not. And very early on in my doing this, we started to interact. And I could tell I have this, because of my experience, I have this unique ability to know what's BS and what isn't fairly quickly. I know when people are sincere. I know what people's intentions are, sometimes better than they do, unfortunately. And I could tell right away that everything that you had offered and were talking about was very genuine. There was somewhat of a sales technique to it, but not really. I don't, we get used to these hard salesmen and all that. That wasn't the case at all. It was more a matter of, let's see if we can benefit each other. And that's really what stuck out to me. It was, hey, I see what value you have. I have value that might be able to help increase both of our values. What do you think? Of course, I'm on board for that. That's the whole point of life, I would think.
Right. And it's funny you said school. I always say that. I'm like, guys, it's not S, it's Skool. And I always say that to people too. And they're like, wait, school, you're not spelling it right. I'm like, no, the one that we're talking about is community driven. That's online. That is powerful. It's taken over. It's a disruption, I think, on the social media platform. Because I found Facebook, Instagram, there's algorithms. And you don't get to see all the stuff, or people don't get to see the value that you're consistently putting out there because it's only what they want to show. But inside school, it's different. And that's what, drew me to it as well. I enjoy it. I like how, there's the messenger. You can meet people, have conversations. I tell people, get to having a phone call as well. People are like, whoa, I like staying online. No, man, build a relationship. Like what we're doing right now is building a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not, we're getting deeper. We're learning about each other. We're seeing how we can help each other. But people are afraid of it. It's odd, but it's so, powerful what has been developing inside that whole community. So and then I want to preface this, guys, we're doing a challenge, and Liam got involved, and man, I think I said, write it out. And you did a video and you shared your story, which is powerful because a lot of people they're scared about doing video. That's why I'm doing this challenge. But I want you to give those that are watching, give us a little snippet of what your life was like that you shared.
Oh, wow. So I've had a heck of a time with things, medically speaking. I've had pretty much most of what you can have wrong with you. I've had 3 traumatic brain injuries. one of which was 2 punctures to my frontal lobe. And frontal lobe is pretty much your personality, your ability to make judgments and all of those sorts of things. So I was not in a very good space for a very long time. It actually had me in a coma for approximately 3 weeks. And I was told things like I would never walk or speak again. And I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but just like everything else, until I know one way or the other, I'm going to keep at something. So essentially what I've done is I've created a lifestyle out of what my negative experiences were, a healthy lifestyle. I eat very clean diet. I don't do a lot of, I do no fast food at all. I avoid the processed foods and all of that. But I've also learned functional living as a result. And that's really what's taken me the farthest, understanding how we function as a human animal and addressing those issues directly so that I can truly move forward instead of just kind of moving forward. So,
Yeah, we have a lot of people that are in online space that, and I find that personal development, dealing with mindset is so important because it's not easy. It's everyone wants to make it rich by just signing up for something that could be free, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, and they think they're going to get rich overnight. There's work involved, but there's rejection. How do we help people with that type of problem or issue? How do we help them to get to the next day?
well, I mean, to have the expectation that you're not going to have rejection in life is really silly. So one of the things that I've learned is, and I'll use mistakes to kind of explain it here. I've made so many mistakes in my life, I can't even count. I'm pretty sure everybody's in that same boat. But here's the reality of it. Almost all the mistakes I've made, I was able to fix. I was able to do something about whatever the repercussions were. There's been very, very, very few mistakes that I've made in my life that were devastating that I couldn't do anything about. So when I'm engaging something, I've learned to look at things in ways like, if I change, if I go after this change, I have a chance of not experiencing this rubbish anymore. You know, if I've become afraid of stagnation, I've become afraid of not being motivated enough to have a go at something, because that's the true failure. You know, that's the biggest mistake I could ever conceive of. So I've just kind of taken those thoughts that I've had and I've reframed them, I suppose, and I've given myself something that's workable. It goes back to the whole idea of do your best. Whereas my best might be wonderful at this moment, it may really suck the next, but it's still my best in that moment. As I started to really truly adopt those sorts of philosophies, that's what's allowed me to be as resilient as I am. So I do my best to let people know, hey, it was a mistake, whatever. This is what you could potentially do about it if you're interested. And beyond that, it's up to them to engage. So that's tends to be how I approach things, because that's what's worked for me specifically. And most of the people that come on board with these sort of ideas tend to benefit from it.
Reflection is key. A lot of people don't want to reflect. They want to just live life. But you have to go back and analyze what you did, and if it was something you did wrong, I made many mistakes. But that's how, if you talk to anyone that's successful in life, wherever you want to get to, whatever that success is in your mind, ask that person and they'll tell you how many times they failed. And that's why you should get yourself in front of those people if you can and have conversations and find out what's in here, because then you could find out how to get to the level they're at. But people they say, oh, I can't, like what we're doing right now and sharing our value today. Sometimes I have people that, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to share my secrets. What happens if someone, learns them? Most of the stuff that's out there that we share is already someone else has done. We just have our twist to it. But there's a lot of people that are not action takers.
Right.
They don't try it because, oh, what happens if it doesn't work? What happens if it does work?
It's interesting that you specifically comment on that. One of my favorite techniques is how to write default network mode, and it's more than just mindset. It's literally the basis for your judgment and decisions and all of that. And I'm a little bit afraid of people stealing it. So I copyrighted it, of course. And honestly, I share it with people all the time. You know how many people have actually tried it? Probably 3. It's a bit frustrating at this point. I kind of laugh about it because it's like, if you just did this for a month, you'd be shocked at how different your life is. And not only that, it's a tool that you can repeatedly use throughout your life. I recommend people use this every 1.5 to 3 years, depending on how many changes are being made. So it's so poignant for you to say that most people aren't action takers. Most people are stalking these sites. They're looking at posts, and then they try. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't how that was supposed to work. What just happened? It's because they're so busy in their own world that they don't have any idea that there's so much more out there. There's so much more available, and I think that limits people as well. I think that people will get exposed to that for so many times and so much that they don't know how to engage anymore. That I see it all the time in our school groups. People have all this information, and even though a bunch of people talk about you got to apply information, and this is the method that I use to apply it, nobody's doing it anyway. But then the other day I posted something. Somebody made a comment about feeling like she's letting the team down. So instead of just saying, "Oh, you're not doing that," because everybody's going to say that, I gave her a specific example of how I approached the same situation that she's complaining she's not sure of how to do, word for word. And ironically, the person who I did this with has since joined the group, and I was laughing with somebody last night. I hope she sees it, because I was honest with it. It wasn't a sales technique. I was showing somebody what they apparently weren't aware of, and I've since had this person comment that it was very helpful. So I've learned that being the example and really putting myself out there and not being afraid of the attacks and the rejection and all that comes with it is the only way all of us are going to get anywhere forward. So those few of us that are the action takers, it's almost in a way our responsibility to encourage other people. I think I made a comment to you the other day about how some people need to feel like their hand is being held, even if it isn't really. And that's true. In a lot of ways, I think we've all been there at some point. So that again, that's kind of gone into my approach as well. I've learned that the better I know myself, the more I can understand other people.
You're also on an island sometimes when you're doing things that are against the grain. And people are starting to follow you, and they start following you. They're copying what you're doing. They'll express a lot more interest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary for some people to do that. Well, what happens? For example, I like to share screenshots of what I'm doing and to show proof, because everything online seems like it's a scam. And I tell people all the time, I'm a full-time teacher. I have an insurance business. I'm also involved in the online space, and I'm actually making money, recurring income online. And people are like, "No, that's bullshit. You're not making money." And I share what I'm making, and I'm proving it, not to show off, but to show, look, if you want to, stop complaining of what you're doing and stop stalking what I'm doing, which I know those are out there watching me. They're looking, a lot of them are haters. They are hoping that you fail, which that's kind of like gets back into talking about why. So it drives me too. Another part of my why. I want to impress them. I want to show them, look, if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm almost at $500. Once I get to $1,000, people are going to be like, I need to know what you're doing. And they're like, but why does it have to get to that point? If they know who I am, they trust me already, but they're not educated. It goes back to learning all this stuff and never applying it. You're wasting your time. But people do that every day. They listen to podcasts. And there's important value in there that you can share with people that can continue that value. You can do your own twist to it. You can educate and help someone else. And it's not all about sales. Like you said something about, it wasn't like a sales pitch or whatever. We're sharing. When you're sharing what you're actually doing, it's more authentic, it's more real. And if I'm doing it, you can do it too. But people are afraid. They get afraid. But getting outside that comfort zone that's what changes things. You have never been on a podcast before, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
what clicked? And I know the answer already, but I want to hear more detail because I know how expressive you can be with your words. What made you decide on, Sean, let's do it?
Well, multiple reasons, really. I'm actually a very good public speaker. I have no problems being on stage and being the one in front of everybody. I find that very comfortable, as a matter of fact. But also just the whole mindset behind putting it on at all. Yeah, it can benefit both of our businesses, but it also has actual value for the people listening. And I believe when you initially approached me about it, I made a comment along those lines. It's like, yeah, and I brought up the person and that was struggling as well. It's like, yeah, people need to see this. People do better with this interaction between two people as opposed to reading content. So it's more human because of the interaction. They tend to absorb it better. I think some of the early workshops I watched on the school platform talked about that specifically, that lecturing to people really doesn't work all that well because they like the engagement. It's more natural. It's more human. I never liked being lectured to. I have watched that I don't do it to other people. I do have a tendency of throwing encyclopedias, as it were, but that's just because of my passion. But having two people go back and forth, that passion is so much more obvious. It's so much more organic. And I think that more ground is covered because you have multiple viewpoints that you can come from. So that's really why I did it. That, and I've been attempting to start my own podcast for years. I'm not trying to sit on my computer and edit all day long. I'm really getting not so good at the back end because I can't stand it. So a lot of it's just the experience. I've had this experience. I've shared it with you. You invited me to do this. I love doing this kind of stuff. And that's really kind of sums it up.
Yeah, I found that when we do what we're doing, we're merging our ecosystems. Your friends, you might talk to about products and services and life in general, right? And some of them are about it, some of them are not. I do the same thing with mine. But in our conversation today, there could be friends of yours, they're going to resonate with me.
Right.
And there's friends of mine are going to resonate with you. And that's what another goal of what we're doing. We're not even selling anything. We're just enlightening. We're giving some value. We're trying to teach, because I know the more that we can teach and educate out there, because it's lacking. Everyone thinks you can't do anything online. You can't meet. Like, where are you located? I'm in New Jersey.
I'm in North Carolina.
You're in North Carolina. It's a sunny day in New Jersey here. And
yeah, other than the smog, right?
In the smog, yeah. I'm about 20 minutes from the city, from New York City, and it's crazy what we can do now today. Like, I used to have coffee appointments. I used to, but then the problem in that people say they cancel on you last minute. So you're driving to the coffee joint, you get there, and you're like, oh, I don't have one now. Now in this world that we're in with technology, you're in North Carolina, I'm in Jersey. We just hop on a computer, we can chop it up and then throw it out into YouTube on different audio, and people can gain value. But I have friends that won't do this. They're nervous, they're scared. Yes, I've been doing videos since 2018, so I'm very comfortable. You're comfortable public speaking. It changes you. It helps you when you're helping more with this medium. It's done once and it continuously is out there. And it could be, and I put everyone's links and all the stuff that we're involved in, and we could pick up opportunities all the time, but it's just spending some time just to do it. And I like Liam said, I don't want to do a lot of editing and stuff. And people say, are you going to, what happens if they say the wrong thing on your podcast? Well, that's your problem. You said, it happens. We're human, right? But I want my job is to make my guests look good too. So some of them have never done anything with, speaking in public, and I have to coach them a little bit more. But when it's fluid and it's authentic, that's what people want to tune in and listen to and actually learn.
And even the mistakes, I've been very specific over the last handful of years not to edit out all the mistakes because of the authenticity of that. But I also think that a lot of what people are afraid of is themselves. I think that most people don't trust themselves enough to do something like this. because of the way people will view them or because of their own self-image. I have a very good self-image of myself. I'm very confident in who I am. Not so confident in how people are going to respond to me, but I'm on stage. What are they going to do? You know, I just don't understand that. I understand it from an intellectual point of view, but I don't understand why a person would allow that to hold them back. I've watched so many people doing it, and I've done my best to coach a whole bunch of them, you know, kind of coax them into doing things. Some of them you're able to do that with. Some of them just dig their heels in. And again, I think a lot of that boils down to the marketing we're all exposed to. If you actually watch television and all these sitcoms, it's such a technique to get you to behave a specific way. If you really think about the psychology that we all have, when you see something and you're exposed to it, your brain starts to realize that this is how people are and wants to adapt to it to keep you fitting in. So that's the other reason why I agreed to do this. The more we can, as a group of individuals, as a group of action takers, be that example that we've talked about and really show people that this is where we all ought to be or would do best being, then maybe we can affect a change. Otherwise, it's going to be that individual and maybe we'll get somewhere eventually sort of mentality. So that I'm very passionate about getting people outside of their shells. You keep referring to it as getting them out of the comfort zone. It's a challenge. So the more we can show them, hey, this is what's going on. Hey, I just made a mistake and I let you see it. Those sorts of things become important at that point.
There are people that are in the school community that won't have a Zoom call with me unless I pay them. And I'm like, why? Then what's the value? What is the value that you're gaining that I should be gaining because I'm paying you that money? Right. And I asked, well, I'll just wait. I'll wait down the road. We'll do a collaboration. Why should I have to pay you? Oh no, that option. I gave you a 15-minute window. You didn't make it, and that's it. And I'm like, that's odd to me because we should always be able to communicate. Everyone has the phone, right? Everyone likes the phone. I'd rather have a FaceTime with someone and see. I never thought this was ever going to happen. You know, like when I was growing up, I'm 49. We didn't even have phones. We had beepers. We had to call collect on a freaking payphone.
I remember
right? And the long cord at home. You had to, hopscotch. You did the jump rope and everything. But today, and we're like, wait, you're going to be able to talk to someone on the phone. So it's beautiful to, like, my parents, we FaceTime. Like, we see them. Hey, there's Grammy and Pappy, because it's so powerful. Why don't you want to do this to build your business? I don't know. This is something that scares people. Yes, I get it. But then you have people, oh, I see you're inviting a lot of people and you're getting a lot of people to sign up and you're recruiting really well. But dude, I'm not magical. I just try. I keep asking, hey, and I don't harass people. I just say, hey, I know, and it just goes back to what we said early on. I like to share. Look, I've been in this platform. Are you interested in a global reach? You want to learn about some positive people, get involved with personal development? Come into this free group. You want to make some money? I have another group. Do you want to be interested in making money? Yeah, let me see. And I share what I do, and it opens up the opportunities. Or the ones that say, oh, nobody's signing up. I'm like, did you sign up yet? No. You're not going to get someone to sign up for something that you're trying to sell when you're not even involved in it in the first place. So you have to try out whatever if you're not a product if you're not actually involved with the product or service, you're not going to be able to get people to get on board, because they know it goes back to the passion that Liam was saying. They can read it in you. You're not passionate about it. Why would you want to join it if you're not involved with it?
Right. That's very much. I tend to make the things that I like and that are of value to me a part of my lifestyle. So we all talk about needing to work and needing to provide and all of these things. It's not work if you enjoy it. It's not work if it's a part of how you live your day-to-day life. It's so much easier to engage that way. These people who are struggling to get people to join a free community, it's kind of, I have to shake my head at times. It causes me to kind of think that they're really hard selling people. So I've taken the approach of, this has been my experience. I've benefited from it. I'm really new here, but it's still helped me become comfortable. It's helped me take to it like a fish in water type of comments, as opposed to anything else. It's, hey, come and join me with this. I found something that works. This group is very active. A lot of groups out there not active at all, other than the owner of the community, post and post and post and post.
Yes.
And this group, now not everybody's active, but way more people are active in this group than most of the other groups that I'm in. And that's what it boils down to for me. That I keep talking about, we're social animals. That's part of that. I've joined this group because people are active and I need to be active, and seeing them active encourages me to continue on that path. If I'm in a group that only one or two people are the owners posting constantly and that's the only person, I'm not going to stick around very long, even if I find some value to what's being presented, because it's not what I'm looking for. I tend to know what's being presented already. I'm very smart. I've done a lot of studying. My life is mandated that I have to. I find myself shocking people at times, and I definitely don't do it intentionally, but it happens. But that's why I like these sort of interactions. It's not just about my experience. It's about other people's experience and how they experience what I've gotten benefit from as well, because it gives me a better perspective on the totality of what I've gotten myself into.
Yeah, it's so true. As far as a lot of the groups, there's no engagement but the owners of them. And that gets boring. It's now they're just pitching something. Most of the schools that are doing that are not going to survive,
Right.
because you need to have a community that's flowing with different things. There could be competitions, challenges. It could be great conversation. There's music. We have things involved in the group. We have different. I love it how it's global. There's people all over the world. There's people that I always do a motivational quote. I always put into our school with Evolve, and I do it on social media as well. Just something motivating that I like, and I share it to the world. And I try to uplift everyone right off the bat, right? There's people, I say, good morning, action takers. And I have people like, good night, because they're going to bed.
Right.
It's just,
I saw
so
that
cool.
this morning.
Yeah. So it's like, I gotta change my wording, because it's like, it's not the morning wherever these people are tuning into. Like, I have the creators in Australia. When we have a call, it's 3:30 or 4 o'clock around our time. It's 5 something in the morning in Australia tomorrow already, because they're ahead. They're in the future in Australia. But it's amazing the connections you can make, the relationships that you can build. But you got to put yourself in that. Have an open mind. Take in and learn. Like I've found that listening skills are the most important thing. And in the past, I was always trying to get things in the conversation instead of listening and having a better flow. Everyone's worried about what they're going to say. No, man, just take everything easy, take it in, and let's just have a conversation that's the right conversation, not just who's winning the conversation, all these different things people are throwing.
You mean it's not a competition?
It's crazy. There's some conversations you get into, you're like, wow. But man,
two of those.
I know our time, man, it just flies. I want to know, how long is your beard, man? You have that thing braided. How long have you? Holy shit!
I just trimmed it recently.
Wow.
It's probably another 3 inches. And I usually trim it every now and then just to keep it full. As it grows, it needs some time to fill out as well. And that's where I'm at the moment. I just trimmed it a couple days back. At the point now, if I'm eating soup.
Oh my! Yeah.
But I'm very picky. If it looked bad, if it was ratty all the time, I wouldn't keep it. So I keep getting asked how long it took me to grow, and I really don't remember. So I just tell them I put Miracle Grow on it last night and I woke up. Yeah. Not that I would ever actually use Miracle Grow.
Yeah, I don't. That's true. I don't think I've ever used it, but no, that's something to do. Some people the beard is it's a new thing that, it's more the in, I think, today, even in the business world. It used to be, oh, you can't have a beard. You can't be on the New York Yankees and have a beard. Well, now it's changed now. You can do even tattoos, beards, are all where it's the norm now. And it's great to see something. Man, I never saw one that long. That's super long. That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Well, because I'm in North Carolina, I've had to comment that I need to join some of the competitions.
That's true.
There's a lot more people down this way that have full beards. It's been accepted here a lot longer because, you know, from Ohio, it's very cutthroat. It's very business oriented and appearances, you know, keeping up appearances. And that's
Right.
really down here, the Appalachian Mountains, you're not going to get people to follow any sort of all their.
Man, this is a blast, man. This is a lot of fun. I definitely want you to plug what you have as far as your business right now, so we can get you some eyeballs.
I have a retail, a brick and mortar called Intelligent Plants. The actual business name is Intelligent Plants Apothecary. I have to use Intelligent Plants as I'm doing business as because of some of the legal crap at the moment. And then on school, I've got the Functional Living Academy. Both are hand in hand. The Functional Living Academy has been created to kind of promote the ability to sell my information, as well as some of the products I have, essential oils. I have over 70 medicinal herbs and superfood powders and all of that in stock, as well as a whole slew of essential oils. I tend to put on workshops. I'm big on educating people. My experience was miserable. I didn't have anybody when I was going through what I was going through. I would love to have had somebody that could say, hey, why don't you try this? Everything that I was told to try was not helpful. So I inevitably became that person. I'm very passionate, as it's pretty obvious. I'm pretty passionate about what I do, but that's because I have nothing but benefit from doing it. So I would love to see more people rely on some of the natural things. It's actually how I overcame most of my medical problems. It took me a very long time, but consistently giving my body the right nutrients. Basically, if you give the body the right nutrients and live long enough, it's going to repair anything that you've got going on. And I've lived that proof. So that's I love doing it. I love helping people. I love seeing them get healthier, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. I just like to see that progress. So that's really what I'm into. And I've gone really far down that rabbit hole.
No, it's awesome, man. I definitely will. Guys, we're going to have all of his informations in the description. You know, take a look at it, click the links, join, have a call, email, any questions. The guy's a wealth of knowledge, and he's not afraid to, you know, share it. And he definitely is someone to help, you know, whatever situation you have. So definitely appreciate Liam being on today. Definitely, you know, hope that you guys gain some massive value, and I'm sure you did. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. You know, do a review on the audio on Spotify and Apple and Amazon, wherever you're listening to us on that space. But as always, I'm here to help, motivate, and inspire. Liam, stick around for one moment. Everyone else, we hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Thanks for having me, Sean.